We're here in Flat Rock, Newfoundland, and I am very excited to be back by the ocean again. The surf is awesome today, and it's loud and booming, and we are gonna hopefully take some great photos of our friend Kit. Hey, how's it going? I'm Renee Robyn, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to walk through doing long exposure portraits while keeping your subject nice and sharp. One of the biggest things I see with long exposure photography is, people really struggle with how to keep their subject sharp while having that beautiful buttery water. So I'm going to show you how I like to do that. One of the most important things with long exposure portraits is you want to make sure that you're using a tripod. It doesn't really matter what kind, so long as you can get it nice and wide and stable and you have the camera set up on really stable ground. The less your camera moves, the more stable and less blurry these images are going to be, because your camera has to be totally immobile. Right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get you down by the water, but like safely, safely would be great. So I have everything set up on the tripod and we're only doing like a half-second exposure, so it's not like super long, like having to hold for forever or anything. We're using a zoom lens, so it's gonna get all nice and buttery really quickly. So yeah, that's the easy part. There are so many mosquitoes. I hate shooting outside. Oh my God. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is I'm shooting with a long lens, and I'm only shooting at like a fifth of a second, because with the compression, this means that I don't have to have her hold the pose for infinite amount of time. So we can do a lot quicker, and it's a lot easier for our subject to stay sharp. Basically what's happening is the compression makes this illusion that the water's moving faster than it is, and you don't have to have your model sit still, perfectly still for as long. So a longer lens means the appearance of faster moving water means it's easier to get sharp photos. Now, I have to make sure that I'm moving the focus point around to make sure that it's still going to catch her in focus. And the theory is that you have a remote firing trigger like this one that works better than mine is right now. But what this means is I can avoid touching the camera at all, and so I can get the shots much sharper without any camera shake from me. You look beautiful! One of the other things you want to do with long exposure portraits is making sure that you get the exposure before your model gets in there. So figure out how long you want the water to be running for the exposure, but making sure that it's half a second or less. Next, you want to figure out how long can your model actually stay still for, and I'm talking like perfectly precisely still. There are some models out there who are dancers and performers, like they can hold that stuff still for like 2 seconds. But 2 seconds is a really long time, especially if you're using a long lens. We don't have to go that long. So I try to go for half a second to like a quarter of a second. Most people can kind of typically hold themselves steady for. After that, you want to pick your time of day that you're going to be shooting photography. So I like to photograph in overcast days, kind of murky days, but obviously today we had a bright blue sunny day, so we had to wait until the end of daylight. And this is always going to be nicer anyways, because once you're in open shade or at end of daylight, you can do a longer exposure without having to worry about using a whole bunch of really expensive ND filters. Now you can do ND filters as well, but that's its own thing and its own topic, and I'm not covering that today. So we're just going to skip the ND filter thing and say, go for the later end of the day, and this will give you a nice exposure. My glasses are fogging. The absolute last thing that you're going to have to get good with, especially if you're shooting with a long lens, is you're not going to be close to your subject and you're going to be around moving water. So you're going to get really good at charades. So you're going to figure out a sequence of codes that you can shout or mime out that your model can kind of figure out, like, stop, we're not shooting right now, or like, this looks great, or whatever. Figure out some version of charades that makes sense for you and your friends, and it will make for a far more exciting and fun photography experience. watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and this like little peek of Flat Rock, Newfoundland. It's one of my favorite places in the world to do photography, and I'm so excited to show it to you. Make sure you follow Kit Sora on everything. She's fabulous, a wonderful model and photographer. She does a lot of self-portraits. She's totally rad. I'm gonna have all the links for her in the description below. We had a lot of requests for more videos on location, so I really hope you enjoyed this one. Leave some comments, leave some opinions. I wanna know what you think of these images, what you think of this video, if you wanna see more. Feedback would be fabulous. I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I forgot what I was gonna say. Shit. One of the other things you want to do when we do this, but